Oh, I love that intro song that doesn't play for me. It just freezes, and then here I am. Good evening, y'all. What's up, y'all? And welcome to the Aging Potheads. I am Funky Monk, aka Big Brother Boss, and then with me is always is the beautiful Miss Candy with an X. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Made it back in enough time to make myself look like something.
Right on. And y'all take this time to go ahead and, like I'm doing, go ahead and share out the video to your friends. Grab your blunt, grab your bong, or whatever you are smoking out of. If you're still smoking out that pumpkin you carved on Sunday, throw it away because it's starting to go bad. You don't want to smoke out of a rotten pumpkin, y'all.
No experience at all.
What was that?
I said I don't think that'd be a good experience at all.
Not at all. But yes, y'all, thank you for joining us. And as always, at the beginning of the show, hold on, I gotta set up my phone and everything. Whatever. We're just gonna roll with it like that today. All right. And what we always do, it is time for the Blaze. Wow. Oh, man. Like that. I always hit like that. This one hits like that all the time. All the time. We want to know where you're watching us from and what you are smoking tonight. I am smoking on jet fuel. Picked it up at Green Dispensary. Green Dispensary is my closest dispensary up here. So I fuck around with Green Dispensary right now. They have good prices. This is not an endorsement. I'm just saying they have good prices. And used to be Shango, but I don't live close enough to Shango anymore. I ain't trying to go to Shango today.
Right.
For sure, y'all. It is a hybrid, however, to me. It is a hybrid, however, in my opinion, it actually leans it leans sativa. High is pretty good. Jet fuel, I gave it 4 blunts because it does take a second more than I would like it to take effect. Best thing I would believe to smoke it out of, if you're out in the streets yet and smoke it in a blunt, don't drive, but smoke it before you go somewhere. By the time you get there, you should be good. If you are smoking at home, I say smoke it in a pipe or a bong. The effects will go faster. It does make you feel real good once the high does come on, and the high does stay with you for a while. You will, towards the end, need to chase it a little bit, but not as much as you would think. It's a nice even high, drops you off pretty good. Doesn't feel like, oh fuck, I need to smoke halfway through it. Nah, it's a pretty good smoke. Definitely a smoke to watch TV to, and other things. You know what I mean, y'all. But jet fuel is definitely this is actually one of the better batches because I've had this in the past and I really didn't like it. But I took a chance on it this time. The numbers looked good. Perfect. I gave it 4 blunts just because it does take a while for the high to go. Let me know what you think in the comments if you ever smoked jet fuel. Jet fuel, the taste, it's not jet fuel-y. You will get a little pungent gas, almost like a sour diesel type taste
Okay.
with some pine. It's pretty good though. And please forgive me. I'm just now getting into um, as long as I've been smoking, I'm just now getting into paying attention to how the smoke actually tastes and how it hits my lungs. This is a smooth smoke out of a pipe. It's a smooth smoke in a hemp. So definitely, y'all, I like it. Um, so definitely go out and try it. Jet fuel should be on every dispensary's list. Should have jet fuel because it's a good grow. It's an abundant grow, so it should be on everybody's list, either in the lower or the mid tier. I've never seen it on the gold tier or high tier or anything like that. Um,
Okay.
Green has a good one, Reef has a good one, and Shango has a good jet fuel too. Um,
No.
but speaking of Shango, y'all, Shango grows all their stuff right there. Everything in Shango that's their brand, they grow and process there. If you walk into Shango, don't trip off the neighborhood, y'all. It's not as bad as people make you think it is. Um, Plus, I ain't never seen a fight at a dispensary. Everybody just trying to get high.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
I ain't
right
never
on
seen.
boundaries between like a freaking like
A week,
uh a
weekly.
weekly and like the other side is like they selling mobile
What is
home
it? Motor
parks.
home, motor,
Yeah,
RV park.
motorhome. Yeah,
Yeah,
RV space. It's not
they
cars,
sell
it's like
RVs. But yeah, Shango, and they have good daily deals. I'm
they
surprised
do.
there's not more than one Shango around because at first I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Shango. I didn't go over there because it was in a neighborhood, and I thought because of the people I saw going out of there, they wouldn't have a quality product. But I went in there; they have good prices, good product, and
They do.
they cater to every budget there. That's what I like about Shango is that whether you go in there with $10 or 1,000 or $100, you're gonna get a good smoke. They have some house brands there that are fucking awesome. And Shango, if you're listening, hit us up. We got you. But
You know,
definitely,
my friend
y'all,
works there. My friend is the one that I be trying all the
all stuff.
experimental stuff.
Yeah.
He gave me some Cheez-Its that one of the
Mhm.
scientists back there had blasted. And he was like,
Okay.
just take one or two. So we had those yesterday. So
Okay.
definitely yeah, definitely I'm gonna let him know if he wants to,
All right.
come on or, talk because he actually works and he does the cooking. So
Okay. Right on.
it's
Right
funny you
on.
said it's funny you brought that up.
Well, that's the reason I like Shango. I mean, I had to go in there before actually because I passed by it hundreds of times, and then finally I went in there, and it was a nice experience. It wasn't a bad experience at
Yeah,
all. They got the daily specials, and they always have something going on, no matter what you got, no matter what. Like I say, they got something for every budget. So
yeah.
definitely check out Shango, check out Jet Fuel, and Miss Candy is smoking one of my favorites tonight. Go ahead. What are you smoking on tonight?
Yes, I'm smoking Blue Dream. It's a
Hmm.
sativa hybrid.
Hmm.
Um, and that just means it has more sativa in it than it does
Yeah.
uh the indica. Um, I gave it, I think I gave it a five, if not a
Yeah. You gave
4.5.
four and a half.
Four and a
And I,
half. Yeah,
and I can see why you. I can see why you. I can see in some batches why you would give it a four and a half. Um.
yeah. Like I don't know. There's somebody actually had this that I got. I didn't get it from. I don't
Mhm.
know what dispenser it came from. Um, but it's a good smoke. I
Mhm.
didn't feel like, you know, um, a super like spacey kind of thing. I felt
Mhm.
I was up, moving around and things like that. It
Mhm.
didn't make it feel like, you know,
Okay.
um,
Hey Tony, thank you for watching.
hey Tony, it did what it was supposed to do. You
Hmm.
know,
Blue Dream is a
that's
nice
good.
balance. I love Blue Dream. It does lean sativa, but it's one of
Yeah.
those ones where it depends on what type of mood you in. Like one
Mm-hmm.
night I can smoke it and it'll put me to sleep. Another night it'll relax me enough to watch TV. Blue Dream is, in my opinion, a great starter strain. If you've never smoked, Blue Dream is, to me, is where it's at.
Yeah.
I would smoke Blue Dream. That is like um it's one of the good brands. I've never seen Blue Dream in the lower tier. It's either in the mid or high tier. Um it's worth the money, y'all. So if you see Blue Dream, it's one of those things that some dispensaries may have it, others may not. It's one of those strains that if I see it and the numbers are good, I'm gonna pick it up. Um, but Blue Dream is definitely good. Be prepared to pay about $40 to $50 for an eighth for it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely gonna get you there. It's definitely gonna get you high. Um, Glad you gave it 4.5 stars. You got anything lower, we'd have to be talking. I'd be like, that wasn't Blue
Absolutely.
Dream.
That
that,
was
was,
definitely not
that wasn't Blue Dream. But you also mentioned something too, folks. We're getting into the season where we're in the house, and I'm gonna make this recommendation to you folks. You can follow or not follow it. If you didn't roll it, or somebody you trust didn't roll it, don't smoke it. It's just way too much shit going on nowadays. And although most weed smokers are real cool folks, and if we get out in the streets, don't be upset if you pass me your blunt and I don't smoke it. I just like to I'd like to roll my own, or I'll smoke from somebody I trust. So if we out in the street somewhere and you see me and you pass me a blunt and I don't take it, don't feel away. It's just because um, I don't like to smoke something I didn't roll. Or I don't know you. It's not
that's
personal.
fair.
Huh?
I said that's fair.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Our strain of the week, y'all, is Alaskan Thunderfuck, aka ATF. Um,
Alaskan Thunderfuck.
that's what ATF stands for.
All right.
It,
Okay.
it is a sativa dominant hybrid. It is I don't know where it gets its name from, but it is a very good strain. I've had it a couple of times. It gives you the euphoria, it gives you the clear head, but it still gives you that nice classic sativa high. This one is really for sativa smokers. So if you're an indica person or indica hybrid person, you definitely want to try to stay away from this because you'll think it doesn't work for you. But if you're a sativa person, this is definitely for you. If you are a beginner sativa smoker, this is good for you. It gives you a nice high, and it definitely um, it's one of those definite things that will have a good high. It's good for every occasion to smoke. We just had Halloween. It's definitely something if you were taking your kids out trick or treating, it's definitely something you would smoke to go out trick or treating. But it does take the edge off. It takes it off slowly, and it puts you in a good mindset. ATF is at most dispensaries. Normally on the lower and mid tiers, you can normally find it on sale. I would recommend nothing lower than 19% on this strain. So if it's any lower than 19%, don't grab it. If it is lower than 19%, you better be paying like $50 or $60 for a quarter or a half. This is not something that if it was $50, I would get. Just saying. I just want to let y'all know that. Last week, y'all, we're gonna get to because we're talking about ATF. Um, we had another mass shooting um, in Maine, and I want to say it happened while we were on air last week because it happened because I remember seeing it after we got off air.
Yeah.
Some guy, I think his last name is Card, walks into a fucking. He walks into a store. He walks into a bar and then to a bowling alley, shooting. Think I forgot what the final count is because it leads to my next thing. It was a U.S. Army reservist killed 18 people, wounding 13 others. Um,
Where were they?
Maine, Lewiston, Maine.
No, I mean, like, where was it? Was it at a mall? Was it at a? Because I heard
One was
about
at
it.
a bar, and then he moved from the bar to a bowling alley.
Mm.
So this guy was able to shoot up a bar, walk down the street, shoot up the bowling alley. And I'm gonna tell you something, folks. These people aren't shooting somebody they're upset at. They're not. When
No.
you go into a place like a bar and a bowling alley, you are going to kill a lot of people. You're not going to kill your ex-boss or anything. Not that I'm justifying it, but I'm kind of tired of this shit, y'all. I'm very tired of this.
Yeah, I can
And
out on that.
you know, and I'm gonna say something about it, y'all. You don't have to watch this stuff. And when I'm saying that, I'm just not talking about the mass shootings, but what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in different parts of the world. You do not have to watch this stuff. You do not have to engage with it. Um, Protect your mental at all times, folks.
Mm.
Protect your mental. If you need to turn off the TV, if you need to put your phone down, then do it. One of the things I did notice was there wasn't much news coverage afterwards. And is it because we're becoming desensitized? Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Me personally, it's because I'm part of the group I just gave you advice on. I just turned this shit off. Um, I read about it once and then I turn it off. Same thing with what's going on in the Middle East. I read what's going on in the morning and then I try to just go on about my life. Um, it's just a lot of shit going on, y'all.
Mm.
So we're getting into the holidays, which is one of the most, excuse me, even though it's one of the most coolest times of the year, for some people, it's some of the most depressing time of the year. Um, so definitely protect your mental. Um, the news coverage, I don't know. I feel like they haven't been covering the news right. In the last, well, forever really, but in the last month or so, news has been kind of disappointing me, especially from places that I expect to get neutral news from. But
Yeah.
the news coverage is getting weird. Is it because we're coming desensitized to it, or we're coming into an election year, and these are things that people are talking about is gun control. And when people say gun control, in my opinion, I am not trying to take guns out of people's hands because it's obvious that we need them. But what I'm saying, there's certain things that just are common sense. You know what I mean? A lot of folks get these guns and they're fine when they get the guns. But if you see that person slipping, I think there should be a list. I think there should just be certain things in place to try to prevent this. Because to me, mass shootings are preventable. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They can be prevented. They can be prevented. Hey, let me get this damn thing down. I'm sorry, y'all. Tony's not with us tonight, but let me get that down. But what do you think? Have you become desensitized, or you just protecting yourself, Miss Candy?
I think a little bit of both, honestly.
Mhm,
Like, I mean, you see it, you react to it,
mhm.
and it's not a thing that you want to become desensitized to because,
Yeah.
you never know when that could be your city or your town,
Mhm,
that happens to. And I just pray it, I mean, it
mhm.
is fake. People, you
Yeah.
know, have their
Mhm,
relationship with Vegas. But I mean, there's really nothing I can do at the end of the day.
mhm.
When
Yeah.
when those things happen,
Mhm.
other than give my condolences
Yeah.
um and then just be thankful. I know that sucks, but
Mhm.
just be thankful it it hasn't
Yeah.
affected the people that I know personally. And I know
Mhm.
that's a terrible thing to say, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's either me or it's either you. So
Mhm.
I, I just I think it's both. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, we had another mass shooting. Like,
Hmm. Where
all right, I
now?
still
You
gotta go to
know, I
work.
mean,
Yeah, I still
yeah,
gotta go to work. So
yeah. It's definitely
it's
one of those things. And you're talking, and you guys are watching two people who live in Las Vegas where the worst mass shooting in history had occurred. Um, and it's a confusing thing, y'all. Y'all think it won't happen in your town until it does. And you know, we need to. I do need that. You do need to write your representatives and tell them we need gun legislation. That doesn't mean take guns from people. That just means we need to put some laws in place that can prevent future mass shootings. Um, so do what you want to do. I lean towards that way. I'm pro gun, but I'm also pro law. So take that and work with it as you will. Um, for real. Even the threat of it scares me. And this is another thing. We're talking about attacks. Our beloved Keith Lee, who lives here in Las Vegas, Atlanta, is y'all okay? I
that's
don't
not
know
a
if
shambles.
I don't know if y'all okay because y'all took some L's this weekend.
Big,
Um, you took some L's this week. Keith Lee, a food blogger, and he doesn't even consider that himself that if you let him tell it, he just a nigga who like food. Don't
yeah, it's just
don't quote me on that because he won't say that. Keith
right.
Lee is doing a tour around the country to different cities, trying different
The local
places.
fair.
The local fair. He tries to go to popular places as well as mom and pop places. Keith Lee went through Atlanta and he went to two popular Atlanta restaurants in particular. First one was the Real Milk and Honey, not to be mistaken for Milk and Honey. There's another place called Milk and Honey, but he went to the Real Milk and Honey. Um, According to what happened, he went in there. Him and his people went in there. They wouldn't let him take to go orders. So his people walked out. Keith walked in, and all of a sudden, no, I'm sorry, wrong story.
Old lady gang.
That was the old lady bag. Um, at at the Real Milk and Honey, his people walked in. They said they were closed. Everybody's still getting orders. They said they were closed. They don't take phone orders. Their DoorDash was closed. Um, and they said they were done. So Keith left. Keith only talked about his experience there, but everybody at that point started talking about the Atlanta food scene, and some people were like, well, why is everybody in Atlanta just now speaking up? It's almost like when a victim of abuse comes forward, everybody who was affected begins to start telling their stories and telling their truths. This was
Yeah.
just Keith Lee's truth. And you could agree with me, Candy, that Keith is just too nice. He was way too nice about it.
Yeah, I,
And go
I
ahead.
saw
I'm
the
sorry.
videos. I saw the one that he did. I didn't see the milk and honey one. I saw the one when he did Candy Burst from Escape
Mhm. Yeah.
restaurant called Old Lady Gang or OLG, excuse me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. He sent his mother-in-law in
Mhm.
and asked how long it was going to be a wait. They were told an hour, and uh, then they were asked to go, and they were told that's not an option either. So
Yes,
Keith
you can't sit here.
Yeah, yeah. He walked in and then he said, well, how long is it wait? And they told him 5 minutes. And he's
Hmm.
like, well, you told my mother-in-law it was going to be about an hour wait. And then he
Hmm.
was like, well, never mind, we'll just go and head out. But he left Atlanta in shambles. You know, um,
Hmm.
uh, as of yesterday, um, he's taken he says in the video, I'm not a food critic.
Yeah,
I don't want people, and that's part of the reason why I don't go in first, because I want to be treated,
like a
regular. I
regular
don't want
person.
treated, like you guys get in my inbox and you tell me to go to this place and try out their food and give an honest review. Um, he was very gracious about it. The owner of Milk and Honey is basically being very condescending and not taking any
Yes.
accountability.
Hmm.
Talking about Keith Lee,
Yeah.
one of his management team came out and said, "So you're gonna let somebody that's autistic
Hmm.
tell you what to eat?" Like it's just gotten like to the point where what are y'all doing? Like it's not that all you have to
Hmm.
do is take accountability. And then one of them also said that, well, people don't go to restaurants for the service; they go for the food.
Hmm.
What? So excuse me? No, we go for the
Exactly.
service too. Like what is wrong with y'all? And it's just the going out of the way to not be accountable
Yeah.
or getting y'all's act together. Y'all think because y'all can cook and y'all come across a little bit of bread that now you're a business owner. You
Hmm.
need people in place that can handle those processes for you,
Hmm.
um, that you can't handle, or it's too much for you guys to handle. You guys don't
Yeah.
have you got to hire your family. You don't hire anybody to train these people right. You got all these rules that you want to charge for every single thing. You want to charge for
Hmm.
parking. You want to charge a minimum of this. You don't you can't even sub. It's just the lack of customer service that
Yes.
he's basically exposing, and now all these people are getting upset
Yeah.
and not taking accountability and listening
Hmm.
to the consumers. How we just want to eat. We're trying to pay you so
Yes.
we can sit down and have a decent experience.
Well,
And you guys act
yeah.
like y'all don't want the money the way y'all acting on the food.
Exactly.
People don't have.
Exactly.
I can go
Their
somewhere else to eat.
yeah. The real Milk and Honey. Their first video was a shitty video. Um, it exposed it because that's where it was exposed. I get some of the rules, but some of those rules are shitty. Um,
Yeah,
yes, we are sometimes paying for an experience. Don't get me wrong, but fuck it. The way y'all act, I think I'm finna throw me some grass and a neon sign up in front of my house.
right. And again, yeah, I could buy it. We got a hookah. Like we don't have to,
Yeah,
hookah
and
is
that's
expensive
another thing.
too.
That's another thing that came out too. A lot of these places, especially the black-owned places, they're starting to look more like clubs than a restaurant I want to go eat at. I don't want
Yeah,
to eat. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to eat brunch with a DJ. I want to sit and talk with my folks. I don't want to dance on the dance floor for brunch. I don't want to dance on the dance floor for dinner, unless that's how your get down is. There are some places that are popular like for that, but when I
yeah.
go to eat, I want to eat. And let's be clear, y'all. We are eating overpriced food, no matter where we go. I understand a lot of us are trying very hard to support Black-owned businesses, but this issue of customer care needs to be addressed. Um, there's a lot of respectability politics around this, saying, "Oh, a lot of folks are calling Keith Lee a hater. He knew what he was doing. He doesn't know what he's doing."
Only
And
going to the black restaurants. He
Yeah,
ain't saying, yeah, I caught that too.
Keith Lee is a very gracious person. He went out there and he told people, don't go review bomb these people. Don't look down on these people's business if you haven't been there. He was only talking about his experience, and he is never there to malign. That's what I like about Keith Lee. And in his video last night that you mentioned about him saying he wants to put this on pause, I hope he does not. But I do hope some of the cities he's going to pull up to, I need y'all to get it together. And Keith Lee said it. He's not going to call ahead. You
Mhm.
won't hear Keith Lee calling ahead because he wants to be treated like every other person who walks through that door. And that was the problem I believe a lot of people in Atlanta had. You know what I mean? It's like, so you want to choose who you want to be nice to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the thing that really galvanized it was when Cardi B did a live and started spouting off the same thing. Cardi B said something that I say about black business, black restaurants here is it's Wednesday, y'all. It is a whole Wednesday. And I can tell you, I can probably count on my hand the number of black-owned businesses that were open today when it comes to just dinner service. A lot of them are only open on the weekend. Trust me, I get that sometimes running a restaurant is cool. But if these restaurants, like they brag about, are so popular, why are y'all only open 3 days a week? You know what I mean? The guy from Trap Wings, which is the best wing spot around right now, he tells you why he's closed on Monday. He's cleaning his truck up and down.
Yeah.
He's cleaning his truck up and down. And I'm gonna say for you new folks, these folks out here selling plates is doing better than some of y'all. I'm just gonna say that. Some of these food trucks is doing better than these brick and mortars. I'm gonna let you know that right now. That's why you see these food trucks around town. It's not about location, because I remember when the trap wings was way out in the middle of nowhere, and people were still going out to them.
It's another one too. It's called Champs Wings and Things. That's the one that got them orange pepper.
Yeah, the one on MLK now. He on MLK now. Yeah.
Oh, he on MLK now? Okay, because he was on Wigwam.
Okay, that's the one I'm talking about, the one out on Wigwam.
Yeah,
Trap Wings is the one on MLK. But Trap Wings used to be out in the middle of nowhere too, like Blue Diamond and Rainbow. You know?
Yeah.
Now I think he's on MLK and Alexander.
I'm gonna have to try some of his. I haven't tried his.
Yeah. But Keith Lee's family was threatened. Some of these restaurants was threatened. And Keith Lee went on and he does what Keith Lee always does. He says, stop that shit. If you really doing this, this is not something my followers do.
Right. It's not that serious. Like, just get your shit together.
Exactly. Get your shit together. Let us know in the comments what you think about this whole Keith Lee issue. This news, it made national news, y'all. It made national news because it uncovered certain things. And I'm sure that there's a lot of black folks, especially folks in Atlanta, talking about Keith Lee shouldn't have did that. This is something that he should have kept within our community. That's the problem certain people have with our community, is that we don't publicly hold ourselves accountable. It's almost like, hey, we're going to take care of this and then we're going to close the door. And do we really take care of it? Because they're in our spaces. So I don't care what you say. We can think that it's a safe space for us, but they know what goes on privately with us. When I say us, I mean black folks. We need to start holding people publicly accountable, but the other end of that, you're not going to come to me and say, I need you to denounce this. I don't have to denounce shit. We know we know certain things is wrong, and as average people, we know something is wrong, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? No matter what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, I know we're getting off subject, but when we see a black man killed, and we see with our eyes he fucked up, and that's how he got killed. Except with this last one, I don't want to talk about this one, but there's the video. Some of the videos we see, we as black folks see why that guy was shot. We see that, and y'all always think about when we see it's justifiable. Where's BLM? Well, why would BLM need to come out? You know, we know that if it's a robbery suspect and he pointed a gun at a cop and the cop kills him, we know why he got killed. What sometimes gets our people is that my tail light is out, but for some odd reason, that tail light being out goes to someone losing their life. That's a problem we have, and that should be an everybody problem. You know what I mean? Every time I haven't been pulled over in the last couple of years, but when I do get pulled over, that shit is it causes anxiety. It causes anxiety. So going back to this, y'all, Atlanta, do better. You know what needs to be done. Keith Lee visited a lot of places. The Real Milk and Honey, they released a statement last night, but to me, I was like, they only released that statement because they seen all those videos of all those places Keith went where he said the food was good and there's lines out the door. And from what I heard from some people who live in Atlanta, the Real Milk and Honey, as well as the Milk and Honey that's there too by the same name, they're both not doing too well right now. See, that's why they released that statement. You know what I mean? Talking about it's not rules, it's a vibe. No, vibes aren't rules. Vibe is a place to where I can go and it just extends past that goddamn grass and neon at the front of your store. It does. And I know Keith Lee talked about here in Las Vegas, he talked about what's that place? Lolo's. And I've only had one good experience at Lolo's in the last 10 years.
I've never even been.
Yeah. I'm going to say go because from what I hear, it's hit or miss.
Okay.
From what I hear, it's hit or miss. And I just remember something. I don't want to say it, folks, but I think I am. If you're opening at 11 o'clock and you're out of sides, I think I'm going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be out of shit when you open at 11 o'clock in the morning. You shouldn't be out of a goddamn thing. Except if you have Popeyes. I don't know why Popeyes be out of chicken at 10 in the morning, but hey, whatever. But there's certain places I've been to where their popular menu items were not available. And it's like, you just opened. What? I could see if I went later in the day or even at a rush where they were making something and it's not available, but whatever, y'all. Keith Lee's family was being threatened. Y'all stop that shit, Atlanta. Y'all knew this shit was going on in Atlanta a long time, and it took Keith Lee coming for y'all to get your shit together. And I think this is going to have effects across the country. From what I heard, he might be heading to Houston next if he decides to go. He'll be. Did he go to Chicago yet?
Yeah, Chicago passed the test.
Okay, he went to Chicago, New Orleans, Miami. So New York and Houston is probably next. He always does LA. So I'm thinking he's going to be doing Houston and Dallas next. So wherever Keith ain't been to, y'all, please be. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that came from. Please be on notice. Because Keith is on y'all ass. Keith is on y'all ass. Let us know in the comments what you feel about the whole Keith Lee thing. We are moving on to what I thought was probably the one thing I said, and I called it. Remember I said the Disney machine was working? Mm-hmm. The Disney machine was working. Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, was arrested for the assault of Jonathan Majors. And as it says, but there's some conflicting stories about this. One story says she was arrested or charged. Another story, she says she didn't. What do you think?
So, the story that I read was she was arrested, but yet she hasn't been charged with anything yet.
Okay.
And she probably won't be charged till after they go to court. They're supposed to be going to court sometime this month, or trial or what have you. But she's probably likely not going to be charged with formally charged before then. So as it stands right now, she's just been arrested.
Okay.
And also, maybe some good news for Jonathan. He's having making good or possibly getting married sometime soon. Engagement awry on the horizon. Don't know how I feel about it, but
yeah, I don't even.
You know, whatever Disney has to do, they get invest a lot of money in him. He's like the whole Loki Kang,
Yeah.
this fourth phase, he's like the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, they really needed to do what they do and
Yeah.
make this go away. So and
Mhm. And
so there's some evidence that may come out against her.
yeah,
So that's
it
where we
will.
are.
Yeah, it will. So we'll keep an eye on it, y'all. Um, one thing that isn't working for Jonathan Majors is, like I said, we don't know him. But it
Yeah,
seems like after this came out, everybody had something to say about working with him. And part of me believes they was just doing that. They caught him on a bad day, and that's what happened, because nobody talks about these other actors. When I say other actors, when they do dumb shit on set or they do dumb shit um in public. Let's be clear, y'all. Nicolas Cage lives here in Las Vegas, and nobody likes dealing with Nicolas Cage when he goes somewhere. Just the same way in New York, people don't like dealing with Diddy. They said Diddy don't tip, you know. But hey,
he don't
um,
too. Well, he don't pay his artists either. So
mm-hmm.
we've
But
been through
Nick
that.
Cage walks in somewhere and says, "Hey, I'm Nick Cage." I'm like, okay, that steak still gonna cost you $200, Nicolas Cage. I don't give a fuck who you are, sir. For real. But yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, because part of it means the Disney machine is working, and the other part is maybe it's just coming out. They just got evidence saying, "Hey, this is what the fuck happened that night." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
they get their evidence. So if they spend it on business, then
exactly. Let us
let
know
it
how
go.
you let us know how you feel about all this. I'm still out on it. I do believe, from what I hear, I do believe there was a fight. Let's be clear. I do believe there was a fight. It's like a Johnny Depp thing. You know what I mean? We know there was a fight, but what happened after that, we don't know. Um,
So they said he might have been texting Megan Good then.
yeah.
That's what led up to the fight. They might have been on the road with their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Actually,
now,
now in our Middle East update, Israel has been fucking around the southern border of Lebanon. And in some cases, they say that Israel has released white phosphorus. Let me explain to you what white phosphorus is. It is a chemical weapon, people. It is a chemical weapon that most countries, it should be a war crime to use it. And I'm going to tell you what white phosphorus does. When it ignites, it burns hot and it burns everything. So as soon as it's ignited, it permeates the air. It will burn your lungs. You will die. Lebanon has no horse in this race. There is no reason for Israel to be nowhere near the border of Lebanon. Because, and I'm gonna say this, folks, I don't give a fuck I don't give a fuck where you stand. The killing needs to stop. The Palestinians need to be free. We need a free Palestine, because neither the Israeli government or Hamas gives a fuck about the people of Palestine. So understand, when you see me saying free Palestine, that means free the people from their government and the Israeli government. Their government is what they have. They don't like it, but it's the government that's been taking care of them. And if you folks aren't convinced, Israel cut the power to the Gaza. You know why? They don't want their genocide live streamed. I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
that right now. I don't appreciate if I don't appreciate the victims, the victimization. I don't appreciate Israeli social media influencers talking about get ready for a bombing, get ready with me for a bombing. I don't appreciate these people sitting out on their balconies watching Israel bomb Gaza and just, okay. understand I believe it's less than 2,000 people died in Israel. I'm not making an excuse, but I do believe that number has very eclipsed over in Gaza.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
that
mean?
total is like 7,000 now, and
Yes,
more than half are women and children.
our children.
Um, if you
So
want to see coverage of that, I follow Sean King. A lot of people don't like Sean King, but he
yeah,
has been showing what we
yeah,
can
that's
get
been
on
good. Yeah, I
TV.
also
But it's very
BBC, not BBC America, y'all. Y'all got to
graphic.
find the regular BBC. Don't do BBC America. You want BBC, you want Al Jazeera, and you want Sean King. And like Miss Candy said, Sean King may not be your favorite person, but he's on the ground and he doesn't work for anybody.
And it's
Okay?
very graphic. Like I've seen
Okay?
more than like it. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be mentally prepared too, because it is a lot of kids, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of showing them, digging them like literally up out the ground, like and they're lifeless. So but it does you want to. He does it to show people
Mm-hmm.
exactly what he's looking at and exactly what they're doing to these people.
Yes.
Like so if you can't stomach it, if you have like weak or mental,
Yeah.
anything mental going on where that stuff can keep you up at night, I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend you not go
Yeah.
on there,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it doesn't have the cover. Sometimes it'll be like graphic image. Do you want to see this? Yes or no? Most of it is not. So sometimes I'm scrolling and I'll be like, to catch me off guard.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
some
what
of
we would
this,
be seeing if
yeah.
we went to war.
Mm-hmm.
So
And a lot of the reasons they're cutting off coverage, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you this, because they released a lot of hostages. And those hostages say they were treated correctly, their needs were met, they weren't talked to a certain way. And when they were taken, a lot of them say, we're not here for you. We're here for your police forces. And the reason I believe they're cutting off a lot of that is because I don't know if you heard this, but I think Sean King reported too. Some of these people are saying a lot of the Israelis were killed by friendly fire.
probably. I haven't heard that specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But
And,
I wouldn't.
and to me, it might not be friendly fire like they say it is. To me, it might be crossfire. It might be the fact that, like they said, they went in to get these hostages. Police pulls up and just shoots into the building.
So they're saying the Israelis are saying that it's friendly fire,
No,
or
Gaza. People who,
oh,
some of the hostages who were released are saying that a lot of the killing was done in the process of them being taken, or where they were was attacked while they are not negotiating. The Hamas has told them, and this is I'm just going off what I've seen. Hamas told them they don't want to hurt them. They released them pretty fast, especially the Americans. They released the Americans pretty goddamn fast.
so who had the hostages? Hamas?
Yeah, Hamas took hostages.
Okay.
But what they were doing was they were trying to lure out police forces. Also, another thing is, and I don't approve of it. They were also trying to use them to move to a more strategic location, which I don't condone. I don't condone it. I don't condone killing on any side. But that's what happened. But a lot of those hostages are coming out saying they were treated well. They were given water. They weren't tied up. They weren't, all the things we see on TV. You know what I mean? Where they're blindfolded in a hole somewhere. That's not happening.
Waterboarding them and shit.
Yeah. But I will say this, y'all. There's no reason for Israel to be moving into Lebanon, and there needs to be a ceasefire. And what I'm saying is, stop doing this, y'all. Stop with the back and forth. And if y'all don't know, we're talking about rockets against missiles. And if you don't know the difference, Google is free. It's like throwing a rock, and then there's and it's like them throwing a boulder back. But yes, y'all, like we said before, if it's not in your mental, you don't have to watch it. You do not have to choose a side. Don't let anyone tell you you got to choose a side. I'm on the side of a free Palestine. And like I said, when I say free Palestine, that means free of Hamas, and that means free of the Israeli government. That means an independent state of Palestine. That's what that means. We can get into conspiracy theories at another date, but we got to move on. It was a sad week. It was a sad weekend. We found out that actor Matthew Perry passed away on October 28th. He was 54 years old. If you don't know who Matthew Perry is, he played Chandler Bing on the show Friends. And so they said they found him dead in his hot tub. Doesn't seem to be no foul play. Doesn't seem to be no drugs. However, they did put the autopsy on hold. I don't know why. But some people said he probably had a heart attack in the hot tub, and that's what happened. We won't know. Our condolences to all those friends and family that were affected by his death.
Rest in peace, Chandler.
Huh?
I said rest in peace, Chandler.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chandler. Not much I can say about him. I've only seen him in Friends and a couple of other movies when he was at the height of his popularity. The only one I can really remember because it was Vegas related was the one with Salma Hayek, where he played the dentist. I wish I could remember the name of that movie. But it was the one where I think he married her for some odd reason. I can't remember.
I vaguely remember. I vaguely watched Friends, but I was familiar with him, and I know he had a few things going on. He also had battles, his struggles with substance abuse.
Yes.
And that was mostly the thing that, I remember being in the news. So
yeah.
It's sad. I hope he, condolences to his family.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate.
And I'm gonna say this: now is not the time to be talking about people when they dead, y'all. A lot of folks have their own struggles they're dealing with. Let's not get on the internet and be conspiracy theorists. I do know there's a time and a place for everything. Let this man get this man a week or so at least, y'all, before y'all start with the bullshit.
And rest in peace, Shaft too. We lost Shaft.
Yeah, rest in peace to Richard Roundtree. Richard Roundtree, once again, I think he passed right after our show last week. Richard Roundtree, very good actor. He did the Shaft series in both the 70s and the remake, or the reboot, whatever you want to call it. I would think it was a reboot because he did play himself in the newer movies. So definitely, y'all, rest in peace to them. There's a couple other people I don't have on my list here, but thank you for reminding me about Richard Roundtree. Richard Roundtree was he was also an activist, y'all. He did a lot of those what they call black exploitation films in the 70s. But he also was a proud member of the Black is Beautiful movement in the 70s too. Afro, leather jacket, ain't taking shit attitude. And Shaft is a fucking good ass movie. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I don't give a fuck. I love Shaft movies. They're not the best, but I might review one next week. Y'all. Here comes a spoiler alert. I'm nice and high. We're both nice and high. So you might hear some things, might spoil something you've watched, but fuck what you got going on. we're gonna start with Miss Candy, who said she watched Sister Death on Netflix.
Yeah. So I watched it last night on Netflix. I just was trying to find something to watch. And
Mm-hmm.
it was funny. I didn't go out. I just came back from friend's wedding in Long Beach. Congrats, Bonnie and Ace. And we also went a little club hopping too. So I decided to stay home yesterday. Sister Death is basically, it kind of gives me how was that movie with Jennifer Tilly? No, Meg Tilly, I think it was her sister. Agnes of God. It kind of puts me in the mind of Agnes of God.
Mm-hmm.
It was, if you're not familiar with that, it's about this young woman who is becoming a nun. She goes stays in a convent.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow she winds up pregnant. She thinks she's having, this experience, and she couldn't remember or how she got pregnant, but she thinks it was someone that came to her like an angel. It wasn't an angel. So kind of along the lines of that, like and it was this whole cover up conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, without giving too much of the nun that winds up uh, unaliving herself. She basically comes back to haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, kind of more what you expect. So
Okay.
I gave it four blunts. Um,
Classic, classic religious horror.
yeah, it was classic religious horror. A few jump scares, but
Mm-hmm.
other than it I kind of tuned out at the end. So,
Yeah, that's
but
one
it's
of the
on
things.
Netflix.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about movies are the jump scares and then the gore. Jump scares
Yeah,
I really can't do, but the gore,
it wasn't gory. Yeah, it was just jump scares, and I mean, a few graphic scenes, but nothing
mhm,
too ridiculous.
yeah, I get it. 4 blunts, that's pretty solid there. So it's a pretty
Pretty
solid
solid,
watch.
yeah, and it's pretty
Okay,
solid.
all right, right on, and that is Sister Death on Netflix. Let us know what you folks are watching. I watched Prime Video Gen V. And for those who are not familiar with the Prime Video show The Boys, this is actually a spinoff show of The Boys.
Yeah.
And it takes place at a school where powered or superheroes go to train to study to be heroes. Now, let me break it down. If you have not seen The Boys takes place in a world where heroes are like athletes. Here, they go to
Sports.
school and then they're dispersed around the country, and then there is a main hero team called the Seven, and these are like the seven best superheroes. But we also learn that they're human. We also learn that there's some bullshit going on. Definitely watch. If you want to get a good picture of Gen V, you got to watch the seasons of The Boys. I think there's two or three seasons out right now. Don't quote me on that. I know there's at least two.
Maybe 4.
It's four, so it's 3 seasons then. So the fourth season is coming.
Yeah.
If you want to see superheroes in a different light, it is a different type of superhero show. Um, Definitely watch it. You'll see parallels between this and other comic movies. This is still based on a comic. It is good. Gen V takes place at a university where they train heroes, and one of the heroes die, and that causes his friends to find out how he died. My take on it is that they're trying to reach that that demographic, like the Riverdale folks, the folks who watch the CW, like the young adult
Uh,
drama. That's the
yeah.
feel I get from it. but it's well written. The main character is a person of color, and I'm always with that. You know, I mean, I am always with that. Um, she's a very compelling character. You actually, the main characters, they show us you actually are involved with these people. And the show does a good job at getting you to feel these people when they get into situations. You feeling for them, you pushing for them, you rooting for them. I gave it 4.5 blunts only because if you haven't watched The Boys, then you're going to be lost in this one. It'll take you maybe about 3 or 4 episodes out of the 8 episodes before you get what's really happening and what's really going on. So that's why I gave it 4.5 blunts. It's not good standalone. I think if I didn't watch The Boys before, I would have probably never watched this part. You know what I mean? It is a good watch. I gave it 4.5 blunts. That's Gen V, streaming on Prime Video. Let us know what you think about that. Let us know what you're watching, folks. Now let's get to the munchies, y'all, because I'm getting hungry right now. I'm glad the show is almost over because I'm getting very hungry right about now.
Probably cold now.
Now you had the sweet and sour spicy wings.
I did.
Popeye.
Yes, they were
What did you
very
think
good.
of them? They're very
I love
good.
them. Yeah, so Popeyes has this new. I don't know how long they're gonna be around, but they got the ghost pepper wings and they got sweet and sour spicy wings. The
Okay.
ghost pepper it sounds like it's gonna be too hot for me, so I went on ahead and got the sweet and sour spicy ones. They come $5.99. You get 6 of them, and they serve it with a buttermilk. So I
Okay.
did them. I love them. I can't tell what kind of. It's like a sweet, tangy sriracha kind of thing, like a sweet heat sauce. It
Yeah.
reminds me of that kind of. But it's really good. The wings were good. They were very crispy. I gave it a 5 because I've
All
been
right.
eating the damn things ever since I got them.
Okay.
And I think they come in 6, 12, and 24 pieces. But
I like
the
I
only
like
thing,
sweet and sour. Did you mean to say sweet and hot or sweet and sour?
no, well, sweet and sour, spicy. So it's like
Okay,
a
I see
sweet,
it now. Sweet and sour, spicy. Yeah, yeah.
sweet and spicy. It might be that, but that's kind of what it tasted like.
But if
They
it comes
probably,
with milk,
yeah, they're probably sweet and spicy. They're not probably. I wouldn't say sour.
okay, sweet and
Yeah, maybe.
spicy wings.
Yeah,
All right.
that's probably more like it. But
I like sweet spice. I can do that. I wouldn't do that because you say they come
yeah,
with milk. I'm not finna fuck with nothing that come with milk.
yeah, no buttermilk. The buttermilk ranch. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay,
it
I
comes
see.
with buttermilk ranch. Yeah. So you can get the $6.99 with no side. But if you want to get a combo, it's gonna be a little bit more. But
Right on.
very good. Try them. I don't know how long they're gonna be, but Popeye's been getting all my points. So
Definitely
yeah,
try
they
that,
rack
y'all.
my points with them. So they're good.
Exactly. So
Very
go on
delicious.
out and try those Popeye sweet and spicy wings. Let us know how you feel about it. Let us know what you think about them. Now, where did I go? Oh man. I was at Costco today, y'all, and they had a new menu item. I know I discussed it with y'all last week. I didn't want to fuck with it because it's $10.
Ooh, roast beef. I ain't had
I don't.
roast beef.
That's kind of expensive for the Costco food court, y'all. $10.
Yeah.
It was a roast beef sandwich. It was a nice size. Trust me, it was built on the bread they sell there, the roast beef they sell there, all the stuff. Costco pretty much puts everything that you see in their food court, you can go out and buy in the store. The sandwich was $9. I think it was a little bit overpriced. It doesn't have the same feeling that you would get like if you went to a sandwich shop. You know what I
Like
mean? You're not going to get that, huh?
a Boston market or a
Yeah,
Jersey Mike's.
yeah. You're not going to get that. You're definitely not going to get that. It was kind of dry. They don't give you like any extra. It's a mayo. It's a mayo. It's a mayo mustard mix type thing. Not as good as Quarter Subs mayo mustard mix. I love that shit to death. And it comes with onions, lettuce, roast beef, and cheese. It's big enough for two people. Huh?
What kind of cheese?
Cheddar. I want to say it's cheddar. It's made for two people. And I gave it 3.5 blunts because it just was a little too dry and they didn't give you any extra stuff that you could put on it. I believe if I took the same ingredients and made it at home, it'd probably be a 5. But for $10, nah, it's not something I would get. It might be a healthier option because you can get the sandwich, you can get a salad, you can get 2 drinks for less than $20.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something I would try again. I would just rather go get the roast beef from the store and then just make it at home. I gave it 3.5 blunts. Go to Costco and try it, y'all. Costco's food court is still one of the best deals in town. Wherever you live, you can still get a hot dog for $1.50 with your drink. And you can still get a slice. Exactly. You can get a slice of pizza for $2. Pizza's good. Not going to do a review on it. Pizza's good. They need to do something about how they do it, though. I need my bottom to be crusty. I need a crusty bottom. I'm going to tell you, though, when I remake it at home, when I reheat it at home and I put it on my little stone so it heats up and it gets crispy on the bottom, oh, yeah. You can't beat Costco pizza at that point. It's not the best. It's made by a machine. Don't get me wrong. But when you reheat it at home, man, it's 100 times better. One day I'll teach y'all how to reheat your pizza slices. Don't do it in a microwave no more. Okay. I got time today. You cook it like you would a grilled cheese, but you don't flip it. So if you want to heat it through, put it on a pan, put a little bit of oil in it, and just put it on there and let it heat through. And that's how I reheat my pizza. I put it in a pan and let it just, do its thing. Or in an air fryer, people. So that air gets around it.
All right. Cooking tips from boss.
Yep. Cooking tips from me, y'all. Okay. Let us know what your favorite munchie is, what your favorite go-to munchie is, y'all. Put it in the comments. Let us know because, we're getting into the winter. We're getting into November. And we're getting into recipe season, y'all. So I want to see some of those recipes because I want to try something new this year. We're actually going on. We're actually coming into Thanksgiving, and we're discussing it here with my family, what we're going to serve. We're actually moving away from the traditional Thanksgiving meal. So I'm going to be happy to see how that works. And we'll talk about that on one of our later shows this month. Now, folks, if you are ever in trouble, you need some help, you feel like harming yourself or others, please make sure you pick up your phone and text or call 988. Here in Las Vegas, you can dial 211. If you have a very immediate emergency, call 911, folks. We'd rather talk with you than about you. We also have the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That is 800-799-7233. Make sure if you folks need help, you get out there and you get the help that you need and deserve. And that's for anybody who is a victim of abuse, man, woman, child. If you need the help, you go get it. It is never your fault. I don't give a fuck what you do. It is never your fault. Get the help you need. With that, y'all, we are the Aging Potheads. I am Big Brother Boss. That is the beautiful Miss Candy. We are here every Wednesday night about 7-ish p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll be getting out in these streets soon. You'll be seeing a lot more content from us soon, y'all. Um, a moment of transparency just for me. Times are hard for everybody everywhere. So sometimes it's hard for us to get out and be with our fans. Um, so definitely know that we love you. We love y'all support. Everybody who's watched the show said they like it. They like us smoking. They like our topics. So definitely hang with us. We appreciate all the love and support that we are getting. We will start getting out more public as things open up now, because let's be clear, y'all, things are still closed from 2020. And 2020 seems like it was so far ago until you actually see what happened, y'all.
Right. But we're getting it together, guys. We definitely
we,
are.
we are getting it together. We want to thank you for watching and smoking with us. Man, it is a good time. This jet fuel got me feeling pretty nice, but it also got me going on some shit, getting with the munchies. And like I said, I'm Big Brother Boss. That's the beautiful Miss Candy. We are the Aging Potheads. And until next week, y'all, meditate and medicate. And as always, stay lifted, my friends. Good night.
See y'all later.